Happy Tuesday once again. Again, it's November 23rd, 2021. I'm doing my fireside chat without the fire. I just left off the last video. I was talking about the encyclopedias. We send the kids to encyclopedias to look up certain words and all this kind of stuff. I think that's necessary sometimes so that they know what they're dealing with. And but why when I was thinking about that, I turned the video back on because it reminded me of passive aggressive, because it reminded me of encyclopedias and stuff that we used to have in our home when we were growing up and stuff like that. And it made me think back about passive aggressive nature. You know, I guess I've been passive aggressive all my life, because when I think back on some things how I was dealing with my siblings, two occasions I can think about right off the bat. Dealing with the siblings where I had to have this passive aggressive nature. So yes, dealing with Reggie as a passive aggressive, that wasn't brand new, because like I said, I can trace that back to my childhood. A lot of times, you know, these people, like I say, people need to start exercising personal responsibility and look back and see who people are before they decide to be messing with them. You know, like we're talking about with the domestic violence awareness and all this other kind of stuff, and the lady getting kicked down the escalator and stuff. That's not called for. But anyway, so what I was thinking about was with these encyclopedias. One time I remember my brothers. I was in I think I was like in 5th grade or so, and so all the kids went off to school, and just my two brothers, they were left at home. They were not school age, so they left at home. And those kids, all the time we were at school, they had gotten into our stuff. You know, I mean, all into my perfume. It wasn't just my stuff; it was my other siblings and stuff too. But you know, for me, I remember my perfume. You know, we had the Avon perfume. It was made like a cupcake, and it had the whipped cream on it, and the little knob that comes off was like a cherry. It was like shaped like Cohen. That was perfume, and then you had your little powder that you put in, and your powder puffed around and all that. So you know, you had your stuff, and you didn't appreciate your kid brothers going into your mess. But anyway, so when we came home from school, the wooden floor still had white powder on it. I mean, it was all wiped up and dried up, but it was dry powder away. You could see it down there. And so Mama told us what happened. She said, the boys got into y'all stuff. That's the powder, that's your powder and your perfume. And all my stuff was gone. And so Mama whipped them, of course, because that's what Mama do. She spanked. Corporal punishment. They had that dinner. But see, in my little 5th grade mind, that wasn't enough, because Daddy wasn't involved. Daddy didn't get in on it. So, you know, we had the encyclopedias. We had our encyclopedias, you know, the World Book of Encyclopedias, those big orange books where, you know, written for kids and had all the pictures and illustrations in there. But then in Daddy's office, he had his encyclopedias. We never used Dad's encyclopedias. Never had to, because we had our own. So, but Dad's one, you know, his was the normal one, the big, but he had rows and rows and books in his little office. And, you know, he had the encyclopedia boring looking, you know, black books with, you know, didn't have any pictures and stuff. They had little diagrams and, like sketches and stuff. But it wasn't all colorful like ours was. But anyway, that was Daddy's book. And you know, you're not supposed to be in Daddy's office, and you're certainly not supposed to be messing with his books. So I went in that office, took 2 or 3 of them encyclopedias, split the pages in some of the pages in 2 or 3 of the books. And I told my mom, look at what the boys did. And so now she told Dad, and then now Dad's involved. So of course Dad, you know, he get the brothers, he punish them and all that kind of stuff. So now I feel okay, because you know, the boys got what was coming to them, because Dad got involved. You know, Mom spanked them and Dad punished them. And then the other thing it was about, what was I supposed to say about the recycle? Oh, the other thing I did with the brothers is for the same reason, mess with my mess. I'm gonna mess with theirs. So I took the boys, they, you know, at Fisher Price things, he had the garage, he had the zoo. And so I took the garage attendant. And then I took the zoo master, you know, the man who wear the big hat and got the tuxedo on and stuff. I guess he's the one, the lion tamer, cracked the whip and stuff. Took him. And so my brother saw me playing with him in our room. And so, you know, we had rules in our house, and people can't come into your room without your permission. And so he'd be in the hallway looking into the bedroom. I wouldn't give him permission to come in, but he'd see me playing with his mess. He'd see me playing with his little toys. And then he'd go tell my mom that Deirdre got his stuff. And so the mom come up to see what's going on. And no, ma'am, I don't have it. This is what I'm playing with. And I show her some other toys that I'm playing with. Don't show the lion tamer and the gas station attendant. And so my brother, all he can do is look in and see me playing with his toys. And mama listening to me. Of course, she believed me when I said, no, I ain't got it. But again, I'm passive aggressive, me being me. But, all this, well, I mean, that's what kids do. They get into these little tiffs over, growing up and stuff like that. And, it doesn't ruin the relationships. It doesn't tear anything up. We still got a good relationship. I got a good relationship with all my siblings. And then the other time I remember, that was the first time I remember, thinking far back as I could. And then the second time I remember was when I was in high school. I was in 10th grade or 11th. Oh, okay, I was in chemistry, so that would have been 10th grade, I think it was. 12th grade was physics and astronomy. 11th grade was chemistry, because 10th grade was biology. Okay. So it was 11th grade year. I gotta figure this out. That doesn't matter. It was 10th or 11th grade year, one or the other. But I think it was the 11th grade year. But I was doing my homework, chemistry homework, sitting at the dining room table doing my homework. And you know how it is when you are just like with in mathematics. Before you get to use the calculator to do your math, the teachers would make you know how to do a long division and that multiplication where you gotta multiply, like three-digit numbers, the top and then 3-digit numbers or something on the bottom or something like that. So you had to know how to do the long math before you were just allowed to tap it in on a computer. Well, same thing is tap it in on a calculator. So same thing like same thing with orbital configuration in chemistry. All the things on the periodic chart, they all have configurations and stuff. And as you go farther down the chart, those configurations get longer and longer and longer. So anyway, my homework was to do the orbital configurations for several of the molecules in the periodic chart. So anyway, we're doing that, working on it diligently, working through it the way you're supposed to. My older sister standing up at the kitchen table making Kool-Aid, we had for dinner at night. You had the Kool-Aid or you had the witch's brew, the stuff that you got from the milkman. We had milkman back in the day. They don't have milkman anymore. Milkman used to bring juices and stuff, fruit punches and stuff. It'd be a big old gallon thing. You pull the plug out, put your cup underneath, and then they used to have the milkman and bring milk too. And then, but she was making Kool-Aid that night. So apparently we're doing Kool-Aid. But anyway, she accidentally spilled the Kool-Aid on my homework. Okay? So she accidentally spilled the Kool-Aid on my homework. Now she didn't apologize. She didn't tap around and try to help me clean it up or none of that. She said, she looked at me and she said, well, you shouldn't have been sitting there. So anyway, why she want to say that? But anyway, she spilled the Kool-Aid on my homework. Don't apologize. Don't try and, help me clean it up or none of that. She just said, well, I shouldn't have been sitting there. Where I'm supposed to sit? That's what I'm supposed to do. That's why I'm supposed to do my homework. When you at that time, I mean, kids do homework now probably in their rooms at desks. We didn't have desks in our room. Basically, you did your homework in the living room, in the den, or at the den, at the dining room, at the kitchen table, something like that. But you didn't have no desk in your room. Had record players and vanities and stuff like that, but I don't remember. You didn't have no school desks like they have now. But anyway, so on my way to my room, I had to pass by her room. I stopped by her room, and you're not supposed to be in nobody's room without their permission, but she messed my mess up. So I went in her room, saw her a stuffed animal sitting up there in the corner on the little table, sitting up there all nice and erect, prim and proper. I grabbed the cutest one, took him across the hall to the bathroom. I dunked him in the bathroom, in the toilet a few times. Brought him dripping wet back across the hall to her room and put him right back where I got him from. And so then, you turn around and look at your handiwork as you leave the room, turn around and look and see. I mean, everything, it was just hilarious. 40 years later, it's still funny. All them other animals sitting up there all nice and prim and proper. And what I just got finished with, sitting there all slouched down. His hair is a mess. And he's dripping toilet water all on down to the table and the floor and all this other kind of stuff. But anyway, so I got finished with that. So anyway, that's how I dealt with that situation. So that was me being passive aggressive. But I don't know why I brought it up. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. I guess a lot of times, a lot of the character traits and characteristics that you are, sometimes it stems from childhood. You don't just become a person all of a sudden overnight. So people should know who they messing with when they messing with people. If you passive aggressive, they should understand that. Y'all know what Reggie wasn't. He wasn't passive aggressive. Reggie liked to. Reggie liked to confront. He sure did. Cause I remember sometimes he be following me, and when I'm trying to walk away, and he following me, yap yap yap. I just need to stop, and he get you in the corner. He get you cornered. You feel like a cornered animal. I remember one time it was something going on. I can't remember what the situation was about, but I know I wanted him to shut up. But the laundry, I was at the wash machine and dryer, and I'm over here against the wall, and nothing around me but a wall. And then here he is, Reggie, barking at me, whatever it was he was going on about. He needs to stop that. That's not healthy when you go ahead and corner people. But you're psychologically comfortable and you're not threatened, so you work yourself through that situation and you talk yourself down and say, calm, 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 and then what? So I don't know what kind of mental issues that you all may have. I don't know what kind of anger issues you might have, but I'm just telling you, people will challenge you. And if you come from a stable place, like I come from a stable place, I had no anger issues. I had no things growing up where, I had to recover from. So I was able to deal with these things growing up. And ain't nobody lashing out at people, none of this kind of stuff, angrily and all that. So you all got a different situation when you all have, but you've had access to counseling and stuff all along the way. So hopefully you can and have and will work through your situations and not resort to violence or anything like that. Because freedom is important. Like that, give me liberty or give me death kind of thing. So you don't want to find yourself lashing out and having your adulthood affected by the negative things that happened in your childhood because you didn't learn how to channel your emotions, and so that's important. But I know Reggie what he used to do. I guess he learned it at home. But what he would do sometimes is silent treatment. Reggie would stop talking to you, and I don't know how you can do that. I guess everybody got their own way of doing things and dealing with things. Because see, me, if I set out to be giving somebody a silent treatment and not talk to them for a day or two, I would forget. I would think I'm mad. I'm not gonna talk to them for 2 days, and then next thing you know, probably a few hours later, I'd be yap, 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 yap. It was like, oh, that's right, I was supposed to be mad. But that man ain't never forgot. I remember sometimes when he'd be giving me the silent treatment, I would come home and then be talking to him, trying to share, whatever it is I'm trying to share with him about work or something funny I heard or whatever. And after you finish your sentence or phrase or whatever you try to share, all you get is crickets. It's silent. Ain't nothing coming back at you. I'm like, oh, that's right. He mad. He ain't talking. I remember one time, a week. The longest he went was a week. Usually it's a day or two. But the week, I can't see how he did that. I remember specifically because they were taking that baby's bed down. Reggie put that bed up on the wall. German rooms are real small. I don't know if I said this on another video or not, but the German rooms are really small. And that's why they don't have closets in these houses, because if you have closets, then they count it as a room and you pay taxes on it. So they had trunks. They floor to ceiling trunks and you open the door and that kind of thing. But he had the baby's dresser. It was a 5-door dresser that wanted to make room for the crib. So he put it up on the wall. Good idea. Ingenious. I never would have thought of that. So he put it up on the wall. And then that little thing that goes, we had a day bed at my house in Opalfield up in San Antonio. A day bed, and a little thing that goes underneath the day bed, and then you pull it out, pull it up, and it makes the twin bed or full bed. It makes it a queen. So I can't remember what that thing is called. A trough, I think it is a trough. But anyway, that trough we had, it was against the wall and underneath that dresser, and that was fine when the baby was in the crib. But when Q and that little boy, his little playmate Donovan, when he got his playmate, the little lady who used to watch our kids, she had a kid, and so they lived with us and that kind of stuff. So when they got bigger and was into things, I didn't feel comfortable with leaving that dresser on the wall in that trough, because if they went down for naps, the thing could fall on them, or kids like to climb. I would be afraid that they would be climbing on that dresser that Reggie put up on the wall, and then that thing would topple over on them. So what does a mother do? She take it down. I took the dresser down. Wait, no, I didn't take the dresser down. I took the crib down. I took the crib down without asking him. I didn't get his permission to take the crib down. But I took it down because I thought it was a good move to take the crib down, so we had more room in the room, and I can get that trough from underneath the dresser and put it in a new location, so that the boys didn't have to worry about that, and then I could get ready to take the dresser down. I don't think I took that dresser down. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to just say what I did. But whatever it was, I know I took the bed down. And he was mad, didn't speak to me for a week. A whole week, the man had his jaws locked. And so I don't know. Maybe he learned that from his mama, how he go to not talk to people for a week. I don't know how you do that. But anyway, just these 16 minutes. Okay. I don't know. The other thing, I guess I could talk about, as we come around this Thanksgiving time, and you think about time in the military, you go, and I'm living in this military community, all these people out here going across, they're away from their homes at this time of year, they away from the traditions and cultures and all the things that they would normally do this time of year, because they want to be, they're all on different places in the world, across the globe, because we want to secure the American way of life. And so you wonder, what does that really mean, the American way of life? Because that's what we're doing. We got all these soldiers, and I was one. I was out there trying to be present in areas where there was potential for conflict, so that we can secure the American way of life. And to me, that meant, that meant that I was able to determine my own destiny, author my own destination. What is that? Author of your own destiny. And be able to decide how you go, what religion you gonna use, how you gonna educate your children, what religion you want to introduce your children to, what kind of household you want to run. All this determining factors, all these things that are important to you. When you're defending the American way of life, those are the things that you're defending. You can be atheist, you can be agnostic, you can put your kid in private school, you can put them in public school, you can do whatever you want, and you're the author of your own destiny, and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I thought I was defending. And all this dogma and all this stuff that they teach us as you go through the military, and all this stuff about, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, innocent to proven guilty, and then all the dogma and stuff that they teach you about the values and that make this nation great, security values that make this nation great, and honor is a touchstone, mission first, people always. I am the spirit of those warriors who made the final sacrifice, a scholar and apprentice soldier, enhancing my skills in the science of warfare and the art of leadership. All this kind of stuff that you say, all the Jody calls about, bury me in the leaning rest. If I die in old drop zone, ship box me up and send me home. I mean, you got all this stuff. And the Jody calls about down the range when you're marching and when you're in cadence and you're running and all that. I mean, see, you got all this stuff swirling around in your head. And you believe it's all good. I think I could say between my teens, my 20s, and my 30s, I believed all the stuff that we believed about this country and what we were defending and all that stuff. But then when I hit my 40s, and then I have to test this stuff. See, a lot of people, people stop a common person on the street, and if somebody come and take your children, what would you do? If somebody tried to imprint their religion on your child, or put your child, give some cult values to your child, what would you do? Everybody would probably say the same thing. I would fight them. I would make sure that doesn't happen. I would do everything I could, and that's all well and good. But see, a lot of times people aren't tested. That theory isn't tested. People aren't put to the test for that. I was tested. They put me to the test. I would never believe that I would have to worry about how my children would be educated. I never thought I had to worry about how my religion, the tenets of my faith would be presented to my young. And I never believed that, that the person I fathered my children my father, the person I well, anyway, the person who fathered my children would not be a part of our raising of the children. And see, that's the thing too. I'm not fickle. See, I'm not gonna spend my teens, 20s, and 30s and believing that my children should have a father. And I'm not gonna have kids unless they gonna have a father. And then at 40, I'm gonna decide that I don't want my children to have a father. And so I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that Reggie don't get full custody of the kids. And I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that when I have full custody of kids, we're gonna live so far away that these kids aren't gonna be able to make regular visits to their dad. That's not gonna be who I am, because I'm not fickle. Well, if I believed it in my teens, if I believed it in my 20s, I believed it in my 30s, when all this stuff came down in my 40s, when the man wanted to put this pressure on our family and change our way of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and what the American dream was for us, or me, we want to change that, I wasn't willing to go along with that. So I took a stance against it. But I never imagined that the laws of the land would not be on my side. In fact, the way I see it, it's almost like somebody going and paying the lawyer. The way I see it, paying that lawyer, if I was going to pay the lawyer, which I did, I paid the lawyer, but I was going to accept the outcome that the lawyer would give me, because all these lawyers do is they go for the jugular and they take all the material things, and they can do all that and make you pay with the wealth. There ain't gonna be no 50-50, it'll be whatever and that kind of thing. But if I was gonna go along with that, I forgot what I was going to say. It was about paying. Oh, I would see that. To me, it's like going into a fine restaurant, buying a $70 steak, and then the people bring you a chicken wing. And you say thank you, and you eat the chicken wing without a problem, as if that's what you wanted. To me, paying a lawyer and coming up with the outcome of this, joint custody or shared custody, or even if I had full custody and he get visitation and all the stuff, that's not what I want. I'm not after stuff. I'm not after sharing custody. I believe from my 20s, 30s, and all this that my children should have a father. So I'm not going to do a thing in this world to take my children away from their father. So I handed them over to him. Yeah, he didn't have to fight me for no kids. He wouldn't have anyway. He said if I didn't fight him for the home, he wouldn't have fought me for the kids. So he wasn't going to put no fight up for the custody of the kids anyway. And then the stuff, here you go, you can take 70% of this, and you get all the lion's share of all the stuff that you all accumulated in your homes. I don't want that, lawyer. That's not what I want. So coming out with the lion's share of all the stuff that we accumulated in our shared union, that's not what I would have wanted. So it's like eating that chicken and after paying for the $70 steak. Now see, anybody else on the planet, if you go into that steakhouse, you order that $70 steak, they bring you a chicken wing, you gonna complain, just like I would. You're gonna want to see the manager don't fix it, you're gonna want to write the Better Business Bureau, you're gonna want to write the Attorney General, you're gonna make a ruckus, because these people giving you a chicken wing, when you order the $70 steak, and ain't nobody making it right. So why is it that when you got something that's paramount as your destiny, your children's destiny, everything that you would have planned for them to mold them and shape them to give them their best life, why is it that you don't have recourse? There's no one you can go to make these people whatever decision they want to make on their journey as they change their mind about who they are, what tenets of their faith they want to practice and all that you can give your children the best outcome in that situation. Sure, they got all these issues that you can put in the divorce decree about what you're gonna do with the custody and what the payments and all that kind of stuff, and the college fund and the trust fund, all that. But that's not that's not enough, because the man's still out there making liabilities on the children's existence, because there's something that's going to come down the pipe that ain't got nothing to do with what's in the divorce decree. So anyway, I didn't know I was talking about that. But anyway, it's 24 minutes, so I don't think I'm going to turn it off. But I just can't help I always want to point out to the fact that I just don't feel like all the sacrifices that was made that I made, serving my country and believing that we were fighting for all the things that we say that we fighting for. And then when you put that to the test, it doesn't hold water. It doesn't stand up. It's almost like lip service. The people say all these things because they all sound well and good. But when the girls stand up and try and make sure that the way, her way of life is not compromised, is not changed, somebody else's way of life is not forced on them, then I'm given a diagnosis. And accused of being unfit. And then the kids get taken away. And then they too, once again, got to go through a situation that they never should have had to face. Because the laws of the land should have protected our best interests. And that was to secure our way of life. And not be having somebody's cult practices pushed on us and shoved down our throats and saying we got to go with the flow. Man, I'm turning this, this off. Enough of that. I'll keep going.